Alright, I'm doing a new video today. I don't have any videos of the new version on the channel, so I decided I might as well record one of these rounds and post it. So this is the 500 credit Pinehurst 18-holer. There's no real theme to the video. I'm just going to play and just talk through as I go. So let's see what happens here. I haven't been playing much the last week or so, so I expect to be a little bit rusty. So we'll see what happens. There might be some background noise. There's a TV going in the other room that's pretty loud. The person watching it's a bit hearing impaired, so I'm gonna use the desktop calculator here. I'll bring that on the screen so we can see it. I'm just going to manually calculate these shots. So we got 64 yards. We'll call that 11 for the tailwind. So I'm not going to go over the calculation because I've got other videos on that. And it's up 1, so about 62, call it around 62 yards. So we got options here. I think I'm pretty sure this is 11 greens. I'm going to hit full top under power, so I'm going to hit this like 98% or so. I don't try and ding in the new version very often, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to aim this with the wind slightly and go for the late click. So something like that. That was roughly where we wanted to click, and that'll work. So it is 11 greens. I don't have any like secrets or crazy new information to share about this version, because I don't really know what I'm doing myself. I'm just kind of winging it. So yeah, I would say anybody who's on the fence and they really prefer Flash over the new version, I would say you just got to give it a chance. Like, it's going to be different for a while. You're going to suffer for quite a long time, but it'll grow on you. If you give it a chance, I'm convinced it'll actually grow on you, and it won't be as bad as you initially think. So this one tends to play a little on the short side. So we're going to calculate the distance first. We're going to call that wind, what is that? We'll call that about 10, I guess, 10 or 11. We'll go 10 and a half. Times our distance of 213 plus 212 because it's down 1. So we get 224. This is a tricky distance. I'm going to play this closer to 220, I think. So I wouldn't expect to get this one that close. This is one where we're going to have a lot of 12 to 15 footers, I think. Well, maybe depends on the click. Let's say 8 to 14 feet on a decent click. So going to be very rare to have like 5 feet or less here for me, I think. So aim wise, we're going to go, I think there with the late click should be okay. And I mean, this should be short in theory, but I don't want to, I mean, it can fly too, so yeah, I don't know. Oh. We'll go with that. That might have been too late. Could have maybe left it on the flag for that click. Distance was perfect, but it was too too big of a miss. So that's a function of just a bad click. Distance was good. Not the ideal leave here. So it carried 213 exactly. We just got the got the direction wrong. Yeah, I think I clicked that like here somewhere. We needed like a very slight miss. I would have still been right of the hole even on a slight miss, but I probably would have been like here somewhere on a good click. So definite birdie range, probably 8-10 feet. So not an easy putt here. It is 23 up 6. The dots are a lot slower. That's probably the most frustrating part, at least for a while, is the fact that you miss so many putts. And it's just time. It's the only thing that can solve that is experience. It's the same as, it's almost like starting a new game in that sense. So you have to treat it as though you're almost starting a new game, and just think about how good you were at putting when you first started playing Flash. Probably weren't that good. So you have to kind of think about it that way, and just time, patience is the big thing. I have no idea on this putt. I'm thinking somewhere there. Is that low? I don't know. I'm going to be clicking this a little bit late as well. I'm going to draw the meter up. Sometimes I can tell on the way down. Somehow goes in. I don't know. I wasn't terribly confident on that, but it worked out. Hopefully start clicking a little better. We're going 2 to 3 lines later than we actually want to. So so this one we have what is that? That's about 5.5 to 6. We'll call it 5.5. So this one's very close to 83. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the first hole, only we're going to obviously hit the 80 wedge instead. But I'm going to play this like 97-ish% with an early click, which is actually the harder click for me to get. So I got away with that a bit. That was on the wrong side. We were trying to go early and actually went a hair late. So got to get that under control. You can get away with it on wedge shots sometimes, but you're not going to get a place like Pinehurst. You're not going to get away with that the whole round. So holes like 8, 6, 8, maybe even 7 on the front. You really can't be clicking bad. You got to be clicking reasonable. That was better. Not a very good wind on this hole. We're gonna have to play for par, unfortunately, but not much we can really do about it. So we'll just leave a punt shot in. I think this one, we'll calculate it. I'm going to be hitting this flat, I think. Slightly dangerous. Actually, on this specific hole, the next one is worse. There's a bigger drop-off right next to the hole, where you can end up having this little... They look very similar, but I think it's the next one that's more dangerous to hit a flat punch. So somewhere around close to 45. I'm going to aim this just a little and go for the late click again. That one should be good. That was about right click-wise, I think. Oh, it was good. Yeah, the next hole has a drop-off, like you can't go further left than like maybe that far, and then it just funnels all the way down. So, see what wind we get on the next one. Got a tailwind, so it shouldn't really be. Certainly shouldn't be hitting a punch into this. We should be getting there in 2. 250. Yeah. Not ideal, distance-wise. Not going to calculate this one. I'm just going to base it on experience and kind of guess, I suppose. So full backspin, and I think we just leave this on the flag and go for the late click. Short, I'm guessing. Or actually long. That's surprising. Got 250 carry out of 96%. So that was... We got an insane amount of help there. Surprising. We got a putt though. So, not the end of the world. It actually doesn't look that bad. It could be closer to straight than you'd expect. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, this one... You can see that drop off there, how everything goes. If you have sometimes in heavy winds, it can be a tricky shot to punch this up. Yeah, I'm not sure on this one. I think have a look from this view. Yeah, have one more look here. Just don't know how much that's going to snap right at the end. I'm going to be clicking this a little early as well, so I'm going to go there. I'm not terribly confident though. I think that's low. Is it? No, in the low side, but it's in. So this should be, at least in theory, a perfect wind for me. This is like a late clickers. This is a late clickers wind, so 224. Oh boy. Guess we're gonna hit the 3-iron still. I could hit 4-iron, but I think we'll hit 3-iron. I'm gonna aim it just a fraction. Well, we got 10 feet or less with the heartbeat. Let's see. Oh, that's pretty good. It's hard to complain about that. Trying to decide if I want to just go there with a late click or if that's going to be too much. I think that's okay though. So this one we'll just kind of hug the trees a little bit. Somewhere there should be alright. An air on the early side here, I think, is better. Bit of a longer shot in, but that's fine. We actually got a bit of a tailwind here. I think this is probably playing close to 122 exactly. So 95% on the 9-iron is probably what I would go with, I'm thinking. Maybe with wind aim there and the early click. Tough one. I don't like having to click early, but I'm going to go slightly more than 95. And we didn't want the ding. Got the heartbeat, but we didn't want the ding. Well, the line was actually perfect with the ding. Guess we over-aimed that one a little bit, fortunately. This one, I think, we can play very similar to the last one. Tricky hole, this one, the 8th. Definitely parable. And we're going to have like a 4-iron of some kind in as well, it looks like. So we'll call that 8, I guess. Yeah, so it's going to be a 4-iron. We don't want to aim there. I think we can leave this close to on the flag and just go with our patented late click. Gonna come up just fractions. Maybe not at all, actually. Maybe just hit it full. I think we will. Short is okay here with a long iron because it's not going to spin. So that's, if we're hitting like a 7-iron in, that would be a bad spot to land it with full spin because it'll come back. But with a long iron, it's just going to stop. That's a good leave anywhere. Anywhere in this area is a good leave. You don't really want to be leaving it back here, over here, or over here. So a bit of a sort of sacrificing the opportunity to stick it, but maybe making more birdies because of it. That was sort of the thinking there. I think this is close to dead straight. So this one we have about 190 probably. And we'll switch to the driver so we can see what's going on here. I think this is good, just hitting this full power, or do we want to come up just a fraction more? Maybe there. Well, got the heartbeat. Let's see where we end up. Not bad. Not bad. Distance was good. The line was slightly underplayed, which is a little bit surprising. But hitting a lot of backspin off the tee sometimes. You get overturning. There's a natural bias to under-aim that one a little bit because of this slope here. If you land there, you end up trickling all the way down. So all in all, pretty good front nine. We couldn't reach the hole we parred, so hit Hit a really bad shot on 2, but made a putt, so we got away with that. This hole, well, I was going to say if that ends up in the rough, it might be a little harder. But this one, we're going to be playing this relatively safe. In a wind like this, there's no reason to get too stick happy with the wedge shot. You can put this over the back of the green very easily in a wind like this. I mean, on 11 greens it might be safe, but I mean, if you land this like a yard to a yard and a half too far, it can trickle all the way back. So I would rather land it like 90 or 91 and leave this almost dead straight putt rather than trying to stick it or going for the hole out or whatever and taking the chance of, you know, even leaving this putt if it stays, it's not the best. So I think we're going to play this one a little bit cautiously here. It's 92. So I'm going to play that like 97 just to be safe. And I'm going to aim it a little bit left and go for the late click. And that was still long. Playing it a little bit short, we were still long. That happens on this hole. It was almost disaster. I'm glad we did that, but it's good that we got that on video to see that can actually happen. So people put it over the back there, and they always say, "Oh man, how does that go long? How does that go long?" It just does on this hole. You're much better off playing it short, and you never, basically never have to deal with that again. Birdie's a good score. You don't have to go for the like 2 foot leave always. There's nothing wrong with taking a 4 there. This one I struggle to get close sometimes as well. That wind, we're going to say, is it's probably 8, I'm guessing. Oh. Going to be hitting the 4-iron under power, around 97%, I guess. With the late click. A little later than we wanted on that one, but it worked out not terrible. Distance was so-so, a little bit long still. Sometimes with underpower long irons that happens. Thought I took enough off it though. Now this type of putt, I don't really know what this is going to do. It kind of looks like it's left to right there. I think I'm just going to play it here and click it early. I think we'll try that. We snuck it in the high side. Another tricky hole, especially with an 8-iron like we're going to have here. This is not my favorite shot. 8-iron does weird things in tailwinds, so that wind though I think is about 5. We'll call that, I guess. Yeah. So in theory, we've got like just about a perfect 8-iron. Full. I think I'm going to take a little bit off it though. Just to be safe. It's a good click, I think. And good distance. hard to complain about that one. That's certainly where you want to leave it. So we got a short hole coming. This one, for a short hole that should be almost a routine birdie. This one trips me up a bit more than it should. I played that a bit down the left side. I was a little worried about hitting the tree off the tee. On the new version, some of the trees are in play that aren't in play on Flash. I hit a tree the other day for the first time. I've never seen it before. In, what course was it? It was on Pebble Beach. I hit the tree on, I think it was the 4th hole. But however long Pebble Beach has been here, I've never seen it. So this one, we should have a perfect full top 80 wedge here, I believe. So I'm going to underplay the wind slightly because we're going to be clicking it late and the top spin. So the line looks good. Oh, it was good. That was just an ideal distance, really. There's no real thought has to go into that one. You're not worried about it spinning back because obviously you have full top, and it couldn't really be playing easier. It's an interesting wind on this hole. I guess we're going to have like a 7-iron. Yeah. What ends up happening here a lot is you land, with this ball anyway, it's very easy to land like there, or 155, 2 yards short, and spin 2 yards, and end up at like 153, and leave like 11 to 12, 13, 14 feet in that range. It's best, if you want to stick it, it's best to land it with 7-iron about there, and it'll spin to about pin high, or maybe a little less. Now that's dangerous because the putt back there is worse, so I'm not sure what we're going to do here. I think we're going to play this up a little bit and just rip it and hope for the best. Have to be early on this one. Can't afford late click there, so I underplayed the wind a little bit too for that. So I kind of landed it exactly pin high, and it spun a little bit, but if you land that like here, it tends to end up. We got away with that one a little bit. Just go with the ding on this one. Tricky hole here. It's a good wind, at least theoretically, for a late clicker. Distance wise though, it's a little bit dicey, so we do have some room to work with. If you can get it in here, that's not a bad spot to leave it, but also pin high on this side is not a bad leave. Maybe even slightly long on this side is not bad. You don't really want to be leaving it here. Anywhere in this area is a pretty sharp, tricky left to righter, but anywhere like from here, which is, I mean, no one's going to try and leave it there. That's suicide. I'm going to go for somewhere in this area, I think. So we got 202. Distance wise, we have, I guess we'll call that 6 or 5.5. Oh. Yep. Gonna try that with the 5-iron. Not too sure about this one. This one could actually end up in the trees as well if we're not careful. Well, we yeah. we ended up close to where we wanted to be, but that was not terribly aggressive. I got scared that I was actually going to hit the trees, and made kind of a panic click. Which, I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not a bad idea. I mean, I would rather have this putt than, you know, wherever in the pine straw or wherever. So, it actually didn't turn out that terrible. It could have been a lot worse. It's not an easy putt. It's quite severely downhill and tricky. I feel like on flash this one would be a little bit easier. But not sure how I'm going to click this. I'm probably going to go on the early side a little bit. Not a lot though. Maybe up to 2 lines, maybe. Struggling to get a good sense of this one. Thinking somewhere there with the early click though. And we're gonna go with that. I think that's low. Yeah. Not quite hard enough. A little more pace, I think that was a good line. There's something you might find, is something I've noticed on the new version compared to Flash, is you have to hit putts a little bit. Seems like you have to hit them just a little bit harder. Now that could be all in my mind though, but I've heard a couple people say it, and I think it's true. And I thought I did hit that one a little firm, but yeah. Another trick, probably the hardest hole distance-wise on the entire 18 holes for me. This one, it just could end up anywhere. So we will calculate, but I mean, it could just end up. Could end up landing here. It could end up landing here. It could end up here. You're gonna get like a 5-yard variance on this one, somewhat often. I think leaving it on the flag though is gonna be all right. That was later than we wanted, but the line doesn't look terrible. It's just a bit long, right? Yeah, that one's it's really hard to get the distance right on that one. So what do we got this time? We got very similar speed-wise to the last one. I don't think this is going to move a great deal. I don't think. Whoa, what happened there? Double clicked, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to put it there with just a little bit of a late click, but we'll see. It looked good. Just wasn't. I mean, that's so close to straight. But when that was rolling, when that got to like here, I thought that was in. One of those that looked like it rolled over like half the hole. So this one we have. What is that? Call it like 6 to 6.5, we'll say. Definitely need the early click here. And it should spin a bit, so. See where it ends up. definitely did spin. Could have hit it. I guess I did hit it full. I thought I hit it 99%, but it says I hit it full, so. Yeah, carried, what's that, 2 yards long? That's about what we were going for. So, last hole, another tricky one I don't birdie that often. I mean, it's been an above average round, even with a par here, but it'd be nice to finish, nice to finish with a birdie. See what, this one kind of depends on what distance you end up with. Because you don't really want to be hitting a full backspin shot in here if you can help it, unless it's way under power. So we'll see what we got here. So that wind, I'm going to say, is 6.5. 161 plus 165. So we got a perfect fullback number, rough, you know. Hey. What if we hit the 5-iron? We'd have, oh boy, that's uncharted territory for me. That would be, it might work though. I'm gonna try it, just because I don't like the alternative that much. I don't think. Actually, there's probably nothing wrong with hitting the 180 under power at that spin. That was way too early. So this is going to be, yeah, perfect distance. Just a click was atrocious. I think we hit the right shot. We just executed it very poorly. Not a good leave. You don't want to be leaving it here. It's better to leave it even long over here somewhere. The putt's just about straight. Somewhere there. It's better than here. But we kind of have to deal with this because we've left it. So not a very good clicking round. I would say we had multiple bad clicks this round. So so we got 12. Take your time with this, even though it's low percentage. We'll have a good look at it. Can't tell if it's... Could miss this one by a mile. It's one of those that... Well, on the high side, it looked potentially high. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. First round on the new version, well, first video on the new version, I should say. Not a terrible round, a few mistakes towards the end, but yeah, it's going to happen, I guess. So yeah, that's it for me.